Here's Prescott, just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it!
Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard.
Oh, going deep, it is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today. And we have made it to week 2 of the 2023 NFL season, where the Dallas Cowboys are taking on the New York Jets for their home opener in the late afternoon window of primetime games. And it's going to be a very intriguing matchup because Aaron Rodgers is not going to be in this game. Now, before we get further into this video, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell to show support for the channel and fight against the YouTube algorithm. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. So look, we know that on paper, when we first saw this matchup, we knew it was going to be tough. We're dealing with a boogeyman in Aaron Rodgers. The Cowboys haven't beaten the Jets since 2007. Granted, we have not played the Jets enough where, you know, you've only played them in 2011, 2015, and 2019. That's only 3 games, and here comes the 4th game. So maybe that 4th time's a charm, right? But when you look at this matchup, I think that it plays more into the Cowboys' hands as you kind of look at all the moving parts. But it's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. So to start things off, what do the Cowboys have to do from the offensive side of the ball to win this game? Well, the number one thing that comes to mind is this Cowboys offensive line needs to win the line of scrimmage battle. If they can do that, the Cowboys should win this game comfortably. If they can't, it's going to be a tough game. And I'm not expecting it to be an easy game in the slightest, and no one should ever think that because, listen, it's any given Sunday. But going back to this matchup, you're not going to have Tyler Smith on the offensive line. You're going to have Chuma Edoga again going up against his former team. And realistically, you look at how we took care of the Giants, we were able to dominate the line of scrimmage, and it made it so much easier for our offense to do things. I think it's going to be the same approach this go around. If you're able to dominate or primarily win battles on the line of scrimmage, it's going to be tough for the Jets to stop this Cowboys offense, put up points, and also keep up with them. However, I do believe that the Jets have a better defense than the Giants, but that's no slouch to the Giants. The Giants, I think, have a very good front 7. It's just that the Jets have a better secondary with corners and safeties. Just my humble opinion. So it's going to be a fun little task to see if the Cowboys can really take it to this Jets defense, because you're going to have a ton of these tune-up games where you're going up against tough defenses. So if the Cowboys really, really want to prepare for the long haul in the postseason or getting to that point where you're battle-tested, now's a really good time. So the other thing too is that you need to get Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert going. I think that while we know CeeDee Lamb and what he's capable of, I think restoring confidence with Michael Gallup and also restoring confidence in Jalen Tolbert is going to be monumental moving forward. If we're not able to get Michael Gallup out of a rut, or we're not able to get Jalen Tolbert going, I think it's going to be a tough season for the Cowboys to really, do things offensively in the passing game. And I'm not saying that they're not going to do anything, or they're bums, or there's a mental block there. It's just, let's put it this way. Michael Gallup, since he's come back from the injury, has been up and down, but more so down than up. And I think that if we really want to get back to the pre-ACL injury Michael Gallup, he needs to have a big game or make a ton of big plays to really restore that confidence. For Jalen Tolbert, we know he had a rough rookie year, and he's just trying to find his footing. And we saw a little bit of that in the preseason, but I think that if he's able to make a name for himself in this game versus the Jets, it can really go a long way moving forward. So I think that Brandon Cooks not being there is an opportunity to see what we have, with the targets more so going to Gallup and Tolbert. Of course, Lamb will get his fair share of targets, but also we don't need to meet a quota. All we have to do is just get the job done. But I think that this would be an important thing there. And then finally, just keeping this running game going versus the Jets. I think that if you're, again, able to control the line of scrimmage, you're going to win this game. And the biggest key of all is mistake-free football. The reason the Bills lost to the Jets was that they committed 4 turnovers on offense. I mean, for God's sake, 3 interceptions, which most of them were just terrible throws by Josh Allen, and then the fumble. If those don't happen, the Jets don't win the game, just calling it how I see it. So again, I think that when you look at this Dallas Cowboys offense, if they're able to do those things, they should be able to handily win the game. I think it's going to come down to that matchup, like I said last week. And then going to the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys, look, that Jets offensive line, I'm a bit worried for Zach Wilson, but I think what they might do is they might roll him out a bit to try and extend the play and avoid getting hit by Micah Parsons and company. The other thing, too, is they have a formidable run game, so this is another game where the Cowboys are going to be tested on that, run defense and see if things have improved. Breece Hall, I know he's on the injury report, and that can affect things. And, aside from I was looking at the stats on the side of the screen, and, I think it was an 85-yard run, I remember. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah, an 83-yard run, and then, for 10 carries, 127 yards. But if you remove that 83-yard rush, that Jets run game really wasn't it. But that doesn't mean that they can't get 100 yards. That doesn't mean that they can't have big plays. And that's something that I'm going to be looking at. Can the Cowboys limit big plays from this Jets offense? You look at the passing game, right? And I think that that's going to be a testament to winning the line of scrimmage from our defensive side of the ball, is if you're able to get to Zach Wilson early and often and interrupt the script of them trying to establish the run and get him comfortable, you're going to win this game. And I think that you saw how the script was last year. And again, you look at how the Jets played last year, and it really was a situation to where basically they just needed Zach Wilson to play at least somewhat decent quarterback, and they win the game. And the thing is that right now, unless proven otherwise, you need to make it so that Zach Wilson beats you in this game. And you can't have it to where the game is close. I firmly believe if the Cowboys are able to get Zach Wilson out of his comfort level and the Cowboys put up points and they pressure the Jets to throw the football and take the run game out of it, I think they're going to win this game by at least a score or maybe 2. And you look at how the line has moved. Now going to the special teams. This is a key thing. For those that don't know, Greg Zuerlein popped up on the injury report for the Jets, so they're starting to try out kickers, so they might sign someone before the game. Well, we're going to figure out today, and I am recording this on Saturday in the afternoon, so we'll see how things go. But he might just have to gear up and play, and I think that can affect how the Jets approach you from the offensive side of the ball. They're going to go out there. They might go for it in 4th and 5s. They might go for it in 4th and 7s when they're in your territory because they might not have trust in Greg Zuerlein to get the job done. Especially if he plays, he misses a couple kicks, and you're like, well, shit, I don't know if we can go with our kicker this game. And that is a massive element to account for. Because that is one part of the game where if they are not able to use their kicking game, especially if the game's close, you might see more 4th down attempts for the Jets. And for the Cowboys, if they can capitalize on those, they'll win. And I think another prime example of us having to deal with a kicker that had an injury, last time that I can remember that was back in the wild card game versus the Seattle Seahawks. The key difference was they were able to convert those 4th downs to make the game close. And I think that, to be real with you, if those 4th down conversions don't happen, the Cowboys comfortably win that wild card game. So again, I do think that given the situation with where we're at, the Cowboys have to win the line of scrimmage from both sides of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, you need to get the run game going, but of course, efficiently. And Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert need to show up and show out. On the defensive side of the ball, let Micah Parsons do Micah Parsons things. Keep sacking Zach Wilson. Get him out of this game. And I think you'll win this game comfortably. The line has shifted since the start of the week. It was 3.5. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. It moves to 7.5. Then it moved to 9.5. And that came out after the Greg Zuerlein injury popped up on the report. And I think that these lines don't move for any reason whatsoever. They're telling you where they think the game's going to go. And a lot of the times the Cowboys cover the spread, or, it's going to be an indication of how we think the game's going to go. Now, I originally did pick the Cowboys to lose this game because of history. They haven't beaten the Jets, and weird shit happens when we play the Jets. And I think that, in the spirit of being a little bit optimistic, I think that the Jets are not going to just come into AT&T Stadium, lay down, and be like, oh, here we are. They're going to fight. And they did come off of a massive emotional win, so I wonder if that's going to factor into it. The Cowboys are coming off a dominating win versus the Giants, so we'll see how things turn out there. But if it were me, I would pick the Cowboys to win this game given the circumstances, probably by a final score of maybe 27-16. I think that the Cowboys, if they can score more than 20 points, they'll win the game. And I think that, again, you're not going to go into this game with a gimme game. I will say, though, that you have the Cardinals after this game, so I think that if you win this game, or even if you lose this game, you should be able to beat the Cardinals next week, and I'm not going to really go much into that when we get to that game. So again, I think the Cowboys should win this game. As for bold predictions, I think that Michael Gallup has 100-plus receiving yards. I think Jalen Tolbert gets his first NFL touchdown in this game. On the defensive side of the ball, I think Micah Parsons gets 2 sacks. And then I think that we see a Trevon Diggs pick 6. So, fun little bold predictions there. Tell me what you guys think down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.